Hello everyone, this is Mark with Mark's Max Muscle, and we have a fan-requested comparison today. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 1974 Olympia version, versus Paul Dillett, 1994 Olympia version. This is 20 years in the making, guys. And if you're not familiar with my channel and my judging systems, when I do these 2 or even 3 different decade matches, I kind of put conditioning to the back seat. That is, unless it's a 90s versus today. Because, of course, as we know, diuretics, they were running rampant in the 1990s. And of course, if Arnold was around then, his conditioning would have been just as good. But anyway, structurally speaking, these guys are about the same height, as you can see. And it's obvious, guys, that they were actually standing, being relaxed in the 70s. So it's hard to judge these. Let's go to the rear relaxed. We are fortunate enough to have a complete symmetry round, aside from the side relaxed, which I do not like to use anyway. The Oak, he is holding his own against this 90s competitor. Paul Dillett, not known for a strong back development, but here in the rear relaxed, not too bad, not too bad. Muscle separation in those traps, and he has some glutes there, of course. But even if the Oak had glutes, we wouldn't be able to see them anyway in these old blurry pictures, but we're going to do our best, guys. Symmetry round, like I said, duly noted because they actually did stand relaxed in the 70s. Front double bicep pose. This is an Arnold Schwarzenegger pose all the way. Not too many people could touch him in this one. And normally when I do a comparison against a 90s competitor or a today's athlete, Arnold dominates in this. Because why? He's tall and he has huge muscular, monstrous arms and proportions. But here's the thing. Paul Dillett, I believe, has an answer to Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's giant as well. He has those proportions. And that tiny little wee waist. Of course, the Oak, the peaks in his biceps, far superior, I would say. But man, that waistline of Paul Dillett and those legs, stuff of legend. This is a close one, guys. This is the front lat spread, but in actuality, it's Arnold. He's showing his back here, so it's not really that fair. I don't like to use these type of pictures very often. This is a photo shoot of each, and you know what? Bodybuilding-wise, Paul Dillett, he's superior in so many ways. Look at the conditioning and the muscles everywhere, legs. But judging this front lat spread, Arnold is hitting this so much better. He's light years ahead of Paul Dillett. Look at the lats. Arnold really knew how to open up those lats and display them to their fullest. Paul Dillett really suffered in that area. So I would wager to say Arnold, a little bit better. Side chest development is very hard to judge. It's being hit totally different. Of course I like Arnold. That big pec that you can see clearly, plain as day. And that's the way I like the side chests to be hit, to be struck. Paul Dillett, as massive and as vascular as he is, his chest kinda, it fades away and it gets lost in the forest of varicose veins and delt muscles and everything else. Good legs on Paul Dillett, I have to say. But speaking as a two-decade different match, or year, forgot my tongue in customs, guys. I apologize for that one. It is a little bit tongue-tying when you do try to talk very fast. Either way, guys, I like the Oak in this one. Is that enough explanation for you? Apologize. No side tricep to speak of for Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1974. Let's go right to the back development, and I can hear you guys now. If not complaining about my stuttering there a couple of seconds ago, then you're going to complain that this is not a 74 or a 94. This is a 1971 rear lat spread, the only good on-stage picture we could find of Arnold. And this is a 1993 for Paul Dillett. I always had complaints with Paul Dillett's rear lat spread, very uneven. I mean, sure he's winning in the glutes, things of that nature, but that's not enough, guys. It's about the back development, it's about who's striking the pose better, and Arnold is. Now, this surprises me. 9 times out of 10, the backs would be much better in the 90s. But here, in the rear double bicep pose, this Arnold Schwarzenegger double bi, very hard to beat. His only weak point, I guess you could say, if you're going to be nitpicky, is a little bit of a wide waist. But look at that Christmas tree. I think that takes care of all doubt. I mean, my soul. And he has those lower lat insertions. Not too bad at all. Traps, just as prominent as the day is long. The only thing Paul is winning here is on the glutes, and maybe in the legs as well. Good calves on Paul. But guys, this is an Arnold Schwarzenegger pose. All the way, all the way. The ab and thigh, however, was always a strong pose for Paul Dillett. Look at that V-taper. Actually just found this picture of Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this is his best ab and thigh, I believe. This is the best picture I have ever found of his ab and thigh. Not too bad at all. Actually doing battle against the much larger, I guess you could say, Paul Dillett. I'm sure he's 20, 30 pounds heavier than Arnold is Paul Dillett. But no less conditioned when you look at those abs. And of course, Paul known for that little tiny waistline and booming big legs. So Paul does hold his own in a lot of poses, guys, and this most muscular is duly noted, really, because it wasn't a mandatory shot in the 1970s, of course, but it was not in the 90s either. So it is it's posed down. Arnold actually looks good. Now the crab position, Arnold looks so much harder and grainier in that upper body. I would wager to say that he may be the better man in the pose down or the most muscular. No doubt he would be winning the posing routines, guys. And if that does linger in your mind as a decision maker in this, there's no doubt who the winner is. But I could see some conditioning buffs and some 90s lovers giving this one to Paul Dillett. Not me. I'm going with the Oak, Arnold Schwarzenegger. I do believe that he was far superior in many different ways. Paul was superior in certain ways, but not as many as the Oak. Not as many as the Oak. Man, 1974 Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not too many versions of any bodybuilder anywhere of any time could beat this guy. Hope you guys enjoyed this fan-requested comparison, and in the request, I actually took note of it. The person that requested it said that they searched the internet and they could not find any comparisons between these two. Well, there is one now on Marx Max Muscle's channel. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram. Have a great day, guys.